Our project was to create a low-cost remote water quality testing device. So the main idea for our project was to create a device that can be deployed in a cistern, and it automatically samples the water, tests the water, and it uploads the data it receives to the cloud. And then it'll notify the users or the homeowners whether their water may have become unsafe. And if their water has become unsafe or possibly unsafe, it'll send them a text and an email alert and let them know that we recommend they have their water tested in a lab.
And the key requirements for this are it needs to be affordable, so under $500. It needs to be able to send the data to the cloud for analysis, and it also has to test 4 different parameters: pH, oxygen reduction potential, turbidity, and temperature. And then the final requirement for our design was that it needs to be easily deployable.
So our project it's made up of 2 devices. One is a control unit, and then the other is the sensors, and they have a wire connecting the 2. The sensors go inside the cistern, and it's a box with the 4 sensors sticking out at the bottom, and it floats on top of the water. The control unit reads the sensors and then uploads that information to the internet, and it does that once per day, and at any point the user can go up and push a button to see whether or not they need to have their water tested.
Okay, so this is a tub of water that we are using to use as our cistern. Here's our buoy enclosure that it floats. Our sensors are actually on the bottom of this, and the wire here that you see will come out of the cistern and is connected to this control box here. This control box is the brains of the operation. It holds all of our software, our batteries, and this is what the user will use. If for whatever reason their Wi-Fi connectivity goes out, they lose power in a snowstorm, and they have concerns about their water, they have a status button here that they could touch. That status button lights up the water quality, so once the sensors take their parameters, if anything is out of whack, then that water quality button will illuminate and it will show that the water quality is good or bad. It also indicates battery life, trying to give them an indication on when they need to change their batteries. It has a Wi-Fi setup button when they initially set up this process and they get it connected to their residential Wi-Fi. So once the data is uploaded from the control box here, the user will log on to this website, and here's what they'll see. They have their different parameters, our ORP, pH, temperature, and turbidity. This is what they'll see. They have nice graphs of their data throughout the history. They can also download it if they wanted to do so as well. If it throws an alarm, then the user will get a text notification or an email to their phone, and then they can actually take a manual sample from their water and send it off to a lab.
The hardest part of this project was keeping the power use low. If we could plug it into a wall, then the project wouldn't have taken very long, but since we had to use all of these really low power devices, it was a lot more complicated getting everything to work well together.
So one of the things we learned about product development with our team, first we started out with a long PVC pipe that we were going to deploy into a cistern. It was going to have a bunch of holes in it. Our sensors were going to float around on the inside. This is very heavy and bulky, very difficult to deal with. We then decided to actually move to a standalone buoy type enclosure. That enclosure floats on top of the water with the water level. That way it doesn't bottom out the sensors. With the Pcb Design, all of our prototyping, we actually went through, I think, 5 different designs of boards. We had a perf board that we did. We moved along to a milled board, and then after that, we got our board professionally made in a board house. So prototyping from start to finish, we kind of went through the ringer with a bunch of different designs. We think our design now is very sleek, looks very professional, and we're happy with it.